Greetings! Today, the 7 true signs you met your twin flame. And this signs video is going to be radically different from any other signs video that you maybe have seen before. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kurt. I'm a twin flame coach. I got my twin flame to stay permanently, and I've coached over 8,000 twin flames. And I approach this scientifically, and that is the only way to approach this. The reason for that is this is real, and you can prove things about it. And you guys, meeting your twin flame triggers something within you that is extraordinary. And it's just not what the internet says it is. Now, this video is very long. I'm doing this as a public service to help people determine once and for all if you are really having this experience or not. So I'm going to be extremely thorough, and we're going to talk about everything in today's video, and I mean everything. So learning about twin flames and what to do, and is it my twin flame, and all of these types of questions, you're not going to learn this in a hot 10-minute video. Twin flames is not a bumper sticker or an elevator pitch. We're going to have to slow down, sit down, and carefully discuss all of these things. There is a way for you to tell if you met your twin flame. Your twin flame triggers within you something that is called a spontaneous spiritual awakening. I'm going to link a peer-reviewed psychology article, research article for you down in the video description. Or if you're watching me on Facebook, it's up above, about the phenomenon known as a spontaneous spiritual awakening. And when you go there, you'll notice the credentials of the people there. And if you're watching me in a language other than English, by the way, I'll put the link so that it'll translate into your language. I know you can't read any of this unless you speak English. By the way, I am using artificial intelligence software to translate all of my content into your language using my natural voice. So this is really what I sound like. I want to expand and try to set the record straight around the world about what this phenomenon is, because this is real, everybody. This is a real paranormal phenomenon, and the only way that we can figure out what it is and what to do is to have a rational conversation about it. The scientific method is the best way to tell the difference between truth and delusion. And if you get most of the signs that we're going to discuss in today's video, and again, I'm going to go really deep. We're going to talk about everything one at a time and thoroughly discuss all of them so that you can tell if you met your twin flame. If you get most of the things in this video, it's your twin flame, guys. And let's talk about that term twin flame. But first, let me wrap up a little talking point here. If you go look at the credentials for these people, these are psychologists. These are researchers and scientists with PhDs at prestigious universities. The University of Greenwich in London, the Imperial College of London, and it was peer-reviewed by college professors, one of them at the University of Adelaide in Australia, and the Bar-Ilan University in Israel, edited by Everton Meraldi at the Pontifical Catholic University of Sao Paulo. These are not wackadoodles. These are not weirdos. These are rational people, scientists, producing controlled, peer-reviewed scientific literature on the subject of something called a spontaneous spiritual awakening. This is key that you understand this before we get into the signs today. Because if you really met another incarnation of your soul, twin flame, this is what happens, you guys. This is how you can tell. And the last time I did this video, somebody left a comment and they said, right, so this is not a video about twin flames at all. And I clicked heart. I gave it a heart on their comment. Right. Is there a twin flame journey, or is this really just your spiritual awakening? Well, what would be the difference? This is what everybody sees on the internet, and you might be getting sucked into this, the twin flame obsession. And I'm always telling you, you got to get out of this line. Get into this line, the true spiritual journey. This is how you can tell. They trigger a spontaneous spiritual awakening, which is a known phenomenon. It's so well known and understood that there are legitimate scientists and institutions investigating it. By the way, notice they use the word union right here. Do you see that? It says union. What is that word doing there? Right. Maybe that word doesn't mean what you think it does. And by the way, good news. I just redid my video explaining the words union, separation, and detaching so that you can understand where those words really came from. And I'm going to link it in the video description down below for you. Those words are not stages or a relationship status with your twin flame, guys. Those are states of consciousness. Also, they're talking about Kundalini in here. So, Kurt, how do you know if it's my twin flame? Who does that Kurt guy think he is saying that this is what a twin flame is? Well, now you know. I'm using third-party literature to show you this is not my opinion, guys. Truth is fixed. It's not a matter of opinion, right? It's fixed. It's affixed. It's permanent. It's intrinsic, right? Truth. And truth is truth, guys. The only other things that you could possibly have on the internet when you're dealing with people who think that they met a twin flame is something maybe called obsessive love disorder. Here's another article from Medical News Today, reviewed by PhDs, doctors, not wackadoodles, not weirdos. I'm going to link this article in the description down below for you to give you some contrast. Yeah, there's people that are just obsessed, guys. And there's also people who, they just want to have a sense of belonging. It's like they want to belong to a community. It gives their life some meaning. And so the other type of person you have who thinks they met a twin flame is the kind of person who really isn't having a spiritual awakening at all. Not a spontaneous awakening. Spontaneous, guys. You don't have to do anything to get it to happen. You just start having Kundalini and psychic experiences and out-of-body experiences one day. After the dark night of the soul, yeah, we're going to talk about some crazy shit today, guys. These people aren't having that experience. These are people who are generally very nice people. They are very nice people. Yes, no problem. But they're very confused. They think twin flames is like super soulmates, and they usually show up with a bunch of crystals and incense and astrology charts and tell you to do a bunch of healing. And maybe they are dating somebody who it's a conventional relationship. And neither person experienced a spontaneous awakening. And no, your twin flame, so-called divine masculine, they will not have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. That's another thing that makes people mad when I say that. If somebody goes through a difficult period in their life and they suffer, that is not a spiritual awakening. You need to, after the difficult part, start having some of these weird paranormal and metaphysical experiences without you having to do anything. Your twin flame, divine masculine, will not experience those things. Now, this is a real phenomenon, and it's not going to do us any good to make stuff up about it. So watch out for that kind of stuff. People that are just obsessed with somebody, or people who just want to be one of the cool kids. They just want to fit in and say, oh, I met my twin flame. So there's like this whole fad culture around the actual legitimate phenomenon of twin flames, which is a paranormal phenomenon. And yes, I'm going to take this to one of these research institutions very soon. Reincarnation, a widely accepted phenomenon. Over 60% of the world's population recognizes the existence of reincarnation. Notice I did not say believes in reincarnation. You can't believe in things, guys. Okay? This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of reason. We can prove this stuff now. Pretty cool. Yes, consciousness exists. Yes, the universe is alive. And yes, you can meet somebody who is the same soul as you are. Now, last thing before I get into the signs, if you're new and you want to know what twin flames are, now that I just brought that up, I just redid my video. Head over to the Twin Flame Science playlist on my YouTube channel. It's called Twin Flame Science. There's a video on there called What Are Twin Flames? Go check it out. All right, let's get into the signs, everybody. Sign number 1, precursor events. Precursor events. And I did not realize that they were precursor events until a couple of years after the whole awakening journey started. And I should probably explain that part right now also at the beginning of this video, which is you might not have gotten all of these signs yet. And again, you don't have to get all of them. You just need to get most of them. And I'll even give you some numbers, some data. I've been coaching twin flames for over 8 years now, 8,000 students in my program. I've got over 118,000 people on YouTube, 35,000 on Facebook. I've got data. I've been following this and I keep track of things. I have a scientific mind. And I can even give you some numbers like how many of you are going to have Kundalini and stuff like this. So if you have not gotten all of these signs, or I should say the majority of these signs yet, or if some of the things that I'm explaining as we're going along, if they don't make sense to you, just give it some time, guys. Give it 6 months or a year. You'll have more information and you'll be able to tell if it was your twin flame. There's people right now, I'm offering a twin flame test on my website. I'm not always going to be doing that. So if you go to my website and you don't see the button that says purchase a twin flame test with Kurt, it means I'm not offering them. And if you contact us and go, can I still get one? We're probably going to tell you no. I don't have time, but right now I do, and I'm doing them right now. It's February of 2026. Now, you can save your money and just finish watching this video, right? But if you watch this video and you're still not sure, that's there, my twin flame test. And sometimes I tell people at the end, I go, dude, I got a nose for this stuff. After 8 years, I've talked to so many of you people. I think you met your twin, but I have to tell you no, and here's why. I don't have enough information yet. Here's all the criteria. I went down the line. It takes like an hour to get through all these. And to be fair, I have to tell you no. So come back in a year and I'll give you a retest for free, right? I tell them that because I can smell it. I know if they met their twin flame. And then other people, you can't really tell when you talk to them for 10 minutes, but then you get through the list and they keep hitting all the check boxes, right? And then you get to the end and you do the detaching test and they really got that one. And it's like, yep, bing, it's your twin flame, no question, right? But some people you can tell after you've been doing this for a long time. And any of you who maybe, I'm not a therapist, but I can only imagine like a therapist or somebody like that works in that kind of setting. Maybe you know what I mean by that. You know, like somebody that comes into your office and they're schizophrenic, you're like, and And then somebody else who comes in and it's a well-adjusted person, they don't really have any issues, you can tell, right? And then other times you can't tell. You have to ask a bunch of questions and then you can tell. So that's just the clinician's nose. Now, let's get back to this sign. Precursor events. Again, you might not realize if you have had this or not, or any of these until later, like a year or two after having met your twin flame. But prior to having met her, and I should say, here's another thing, by the way. I actually met her 13 years prior. This is relevant. I met her 13 years prior, and we flirted a couple times, and that was it. Nothing happened. She's younger than I am, and she was kind of like too young at the time. We worked together in the job place, and I was like, I don't think so, honey. You know, she liked me, and I was flattered, but I was like, nah, we can't, hit me up in 10 years, right? And she did. She actually did, right? So 13 years later, we ran into each other on Facebook, and we started talking, and that's when the whole journey started. Now, about 12 to 18 months before we met, reconnected on social media, I started going through all of these strange internal shifts, and I didn't really know why. For example, I'm a musician. I love music. Music is like life. I always got to have music playing. I can't live without it. I love music. Lots of music. I don't care what kind of music it is, as long as it's good music. Well, all of a sudden, I wanted to listen to different music that I would have never imagined that I would be listening to. Because I used to listen to a lot of like classic rock, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Doors, Deep Purple, right? And also like 90s rock, Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, a little bit of variety in there too, actually quite a lot. I'd listen to a lot of like golden oldies like Elvis and Buddy Holly, 80s music, that's always good, Dire Straits, fucking Michael Jackson, why not, and Don Henley and whatever, New Wave too, Depeche Mode, you get the idea. But I never imagined that I would be listening to just all out pop music, and it was good pop music. I even wanted to listen to ABBA, and they're great. But I guess I never really just appreciated them, and actually they've got a lot of really good songs. But what I'm saying, guys, is I felt pulled into like deeper, more, I don't know, pop music, emotionally different type of sound that would have been awkward to me in the past. Like if you would have told me 10 years prior to go listen to ABBA, I would have been like, no. No, get that out of here, right? And there was a lot of that. There was a lot of stuff that I wanted to listen to suddenly. Even like Enya, I found myself getting into Enya. Enya's really good. I've got a playlist on my English-speaking YouTube channel of all of her best songs. Also, I felt like this kind of surrender, right? Like my life situation wasn't very good at all, and it wasn't serving me. I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be in. I was working at a job that was okay, but it was empty. And I just kind of like did, what do you call it? Taco Tuesdays and Friday happy hours with friends to fill the void. And I just watched old movies and I don't know. And I finally gave into it and I said, well, I guess this is all there is. And I'm just going to live out my life this way. It's like I gave up. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was a comforting thing in a way. Now, these are all subjective experiences that I had. So what I'm asking you to look for are did you experience any kind of internal shifts a year or two prior to having met your twin flame, or at least the person you think is your twin flame at this point? Did you experience anything like that spontaneously? That word is going to keep coming up. It's a spontaneous spiritual awakening that they trigger. This is the scientific way for you to tell, not Kurt's way. It's the way for you to tell, right? Using third-party information. So this is one of the things that could have happened to you. And why this happens? Well, you guys, think of it like a calm river. It's a calm river. It's flowing gently, right? Or a stream. You see a little stream in the woods, right? And you put a stick in it. Now, the water is flowing this way towards the stick, right? What happens in front of the stick? Well, you see little waves, like the water tension in front of the stick. You can see little water tension waves, little ripples in the water in front of the stick before the water even gets to the stick. And it's not much, it's like that much, but still you can see them, right? That's like the water is like time. It's like the flow of events in your life. And this is basically some kind of a psychic experience that you had where you're having these little precursor events and you feel shifts and changes internally. It really doesn't affect much that's going on outside, with maybe one exception happening at your job place. We're going to talk about that. You're going to think that's very interesting. And it's 9 out of 10 of you. If you really met your twin flame, 90% of you, it's like your job, the things that you're doing at your workplace, they change right before dark night of the soul. And that happens to over 90%. I've actually taken surveys from my students and it was that high. This is unbelievable, you guys, that this can happen to somebody. Okay, number 2, the short bubble phase. It's short. Exceptions are rare, and there's always an explanation for why there is an exception. So you're probably not an exception, and even if you are, it's not a long bubble phase still. I'll explain that. Okay, so bubble phase. You meet this person and there's usually a romantic exchange and they reciprocate and you guys are romantic together, or you're flirting together. There's like this mutual attraction. Or if they are not responding romantically, at minimum you are romantically interested in them at some point. Again, you could have met them prior and nothing happened. And then one day this finally did happen where there was some kind of romantic interest, at least on your part, okay? And this period lasts anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. That's it. It's generally 1 or 2 months, maybe a little longer, but usually not. It's very short. And at the end of this bubble phase, and for me, with my twin flame, it was reciprocated. We went on a few dates, we held hands, we did whatever, and it was beautiful. And she was enjoying it, and I was enjoying it, and we were all romantic and everything. It was cute. And I really fell for her hard immediately, which I never do, by the way. It was immediate after the first date. I was like all the way in love with her. That's weird. But I wanted to do that for some reason. I've never done that before. Usually it takes time, to build up. But some of these variables are going to be different for all of you watching. But the one thing that's going to be the same is it's a short bubble phase with very few exceptions. I'll talk about exceptions in a second. If you think you're an exception, probably not. Watch the rest of the video. You guys, I can't stress this enough. You need to watch to the end. If you get to the end of the dark night of the soul, with all the suffering and the obsession and all that, if you watch to that part of the video, and you do not finish watching this video, I guarantee you did not meet your twin flame. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people focus on the suffering, and then they go, oh, that proves that it's my twin flame. No, it might prove that you have obsessive love disorder. You need to get like 85% or more of the things on this list. And there's a lot of them. Look at how long it is. This takes me an hour to give this test to people when they purchase a test from me. So watch to the end. There has to be all the weird metaphysical stuff that happens after the dark night of the soul, and people make stuff up about that too. Like, oh, I had hot and cold flashes, or I had a surge or a rush of sexual energy when I saw them. Yeah, that's Kundalini. No. And that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion, guys. What Kundalini is, okay. So the bubble phase for everybody, with very few exceptions, is short, 4 to 8 weeks, however that manifests, even if it's just you taking an interest in them, and you're like, why? Sometimes you're even like, why, right? They're not my type. That happens a lot. Now, at the end of this bubble phase, that's when the dark night of the soul starts. And it's usually because they ran away, they rejected you, they're not reciprocating, and then it triggers the dark night of the soul, which is the beginning of the awakening. Okay? This little bubble phase is just the first point of contact that you're going to have with them. Now, exceptions, well, you probably really did only have a 4 to 8 week bubble phase, actually. So if you think the bubble phase lasted a lot longer than that, what's really going on is after 4 to 8 weeks from the beginning of romantic initiation, whether they reciprocate or not, from the beginning of romantic initiation, 4 to 8 weeks after that, that's when the trouble starts, right? And you're getting a lot of this back and forth. They're starting to pull away a little bit. You're asking a lot of questions. Maybe you're fighting with them, right? When did that start? 4 to 8 weeks. So is that an exception? Not really. And I know one person who actually, that's what happened to him. He started meditating to try to feel better. And she didn't want to run away as bad. Ha! Right. Yeah. How do you align with your soul? Well, one of the primary things you need to do is meditate, right? That's how you get your twin flame to come back. So that's the bubble phase. Next sign, the dark night of the soul. Again, in the Zen traditions, all the great spiritual masters, they may refer to the dark night of the soul as ego death. So this is another thing that we don't need to make stuff up about. And if you use trusted resources, tried and true spiritual teachings, you could get your twin flame to come back, right? So the Buddha, Jesus, Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Ram Dass, Alan Watts, Gangaji, Charlotte Jocko Beck, Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira, right? The masters. What do they call this little period? Or long? It was long. Oh, you call it dark night of the soul, but they call it ego death. But same thing. It's fine. Now, this is the part everybody likes to obsess on and fixate on. And my very first ever twin flame signs video that I posted in 2019, I eventually took it down because I realized that as popular as it was, I was attracting a lot of these types of people into my coaching program. And I can't help you. I can't help you if that's you, dude. I'm looking for the people who are experiencing this. And you're not going to know if you're experiencing this until after the ego death, dark night of the soul. And I took that video down, and to this day, I still have people every once in a while that get into the comments of one of my videos and they go, Kurt, I wish you would put that video back. That was such a great video, yeah? Did you meet your twin flame? Why is like wearing the suffering on your shoulder like it's a badge of honor the thing to do? Like, I suffered. That proves it's my twin flame. Well, no, that does not prove it's your twin flame. And I'm not going to put that video back. I'm not going to do it because most of the video I talked about that part. I didn't spend at least not enough time on the important stuff, guys, to how you can really tell it's your twin flame. And ever since I took that video down and started talking about this stuff, the type of people that join my coaching program is a lot different. Very interesting. So, and again, I used to get people that were just obsessed. You could tell they didn't meet their twin flame. They're not having any of the paranormal experiences that we're going to talk about. And ever since I started doing things a little bit differently on my platforms, I'm getting different people. And they're all having this, guys. This is a very extraordinary thing to have happen to you. This is a paranormal phenomenon. And again, there's prestigious universities and institutions that are doing funded research. They're getting money. Why? Because it's real. And I want to talk to people about that. I went through it, and I know probably most of you are too, because I do such an excellent job of sorting out the circles from the squares on my YouTube channel. You feel me? Now, the dark night of the soul is, after the bubble phase, a period of intense suffering. What's happening to you? Well, you met your twin flame. Consciousness is exploding within you, and the ego mask, the self-concept, is kind of breaking apart for you to be set free from it. And you're never really going to completely get rid of it. In the Zen traditions, they call it ego death, but you're never going to be the same, and you're never going to believe that you are self-concept anymore. That's the basic tenet of spiritualism, right? I have all my students start with this book. This is a great beginner book about genuine spiritualism by Eckhart Tolle. It's available in your language, whatever language you're watching. It doesn't matter. The power of now. The power of now. The first thing he's going to want to talk to you about is you are not your mind. You're not the self-concept. Your consciousness. In consciousness, it cannot be understood, and you don't heal your way there. That's another myth that I'm always having to bust. Although healing does happen. It happens later. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. That's in the last sign. Spontaneous healing. So that's why that's happening. You're going to have a different experience of self after the awakening is over and you get to enlightenment. And I mean it. This is your path towards like full-blown Buddha level enlightenment. And I'm not kidding. And by the way, when you get to enlightenment, you're going to think, well, this isn't any big deal. This is no big deal, right? Everybody thinks you're going to turn into this Yoda caricature of perfection or Jesus flying up into the sky. Well, maybe, but probably not. It's probably going to be more like grounded experience of enlightenment, which is where you live in peace and you no longer believe yourself to be this self-concept, and suffering ends. Suffering ends forever. You never suffer again. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have emotions, but you don't suffer them. It's subtle but profound. So this first step is very painful, right? You are identified as this self-concept, right? Which, again, that forms, like I've said before in other videos, around the age of 7 or 8 years old. It's a collection of retained thought and emotional imprints that you've been accumulating since you were a child. Before that, when you were a newborn baby, on day 1, was there self-concept inside the baby? No. The baby has no self-concept. So what's going on inside the baby? Consciousness, awareness, the soul. And your twin flame triggers that. And one more thing, and then I'm going to describe Dark Night of the Soul. There's lots of other ways for a spontaneous spiritual awakening to be triggered. You can even take psychedelics, but what we experience, you don't need that stuff. Ayahuasca, no, you just meet this person. And then other people like Eckhart Tolle, life circumstances, anxiety, that's usually what it is. Or like getting over a terminal illness or having a near-death experience, right? Almost dying in a car crash. So there's lots of different doorways that you could go through to have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. Twin flame is just one of them, right? And again, that's what this is, guys. This is not, there's no twin flame journey. That's not a thing, guys. This is your spiritual awakening. And by the way, if you just align with your spiritual journey instead of the person, you stop doing anything about the person and just be Zen. Go beyond mind, right? They come back. But they come back as a byproduct of that. You're not doing anything to get them to come back. And again, it's not healing. Healing is fine. Healing is good, but that's not what this is, guys. Healing, you'll probably do that later, but you'll be better able to. Okay, obsessive thinking, the dark night of the soul. Holy shit! Oh, the obsessive thinking. Oh my God, you guys, it's like it's happening to you. It is so bizarre. I've never had anything like that before or since. You know, somebody might tell you, dude, you really just need to stop thinking about this person. And you're like, dude, I know that. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Right? I can't. Why? It's like it's happening to you. And I mean, it's a lot. It is over the top, powerful. Your brain is going 1 billion miles an hour or 1 billion kilometers per hour, right? It's, oh my God, just racing and racing with this person. And you generally feel this sense of like being bogged down with it. And you can't function. I could barely do basic things like eat. I would go to take a shower. I would, that's gross. But that was like the only thing I could do. Go take a shower, brush your teeth. I lost some weight because I wasn't eating a lot. People at work started to notice too, like I was acting different. I wasn't my usual self. And they would ask me, "Are you okay, dude?" And I worked at a financial company. You got to be all proper and professional, right? And they would go, "Are you okay, dude?" And I would go, "Oh yeah, I'm great. I'm terrific. It's another day at the office." And what I really wanted to tell them was, no, I feel awful. Somebody help me. I wanted to run away screaming or start crying. Spontaneous crying fits, right? Like I'd be sitting at my desk at work and it's uncontrolled. You can't make it stop. You feel it starting to come on. And I had to bolt out of there, go to the bathroom or something, go lock myself in the bathroom stall or something, because I did not want my coworkers to see me crying. A grown man, by the way. And then I would go home at night and cry myself to sleep every night and like screaming into my pillow in desperation and in the fetal position, crying and screaming, because that was the only thing that felt good. It was so weird. And the obsessive thinking is going on. And there's this sense of meaninglessness. Like, I don't know who I am anymore. It's this loss of identity. This is very key. Almost all of you. And you're not thinking about self-deleting. And if you are, I don't want to hear it. I'm not a psychologist. I cannot help you. I am not qualified. It's not that I don't have compassion for you. I don't know how to help you. If you're thinking about self-deleting, please talk to somebody that can help you. Go talk to a professional, please. Don't do it. Really, the world is better with you than without you. Trust me. But it's not that, really. Everybody watching, almost all of you, probably all of you, it's not really that. It's just this weird loss of identity. I don't know who I am anymore. What am I doing here? This sense of meaninglessness. You look in the mirror and you don't know who you are anymore. Also, after the crying at night, I would finally fall asleep because I got so tired from all the crying. And then I would fall asleep for an hour. And that's it, an hour. Whoop-de-doo! Why? Because I can't sleep. And I would just wake up and stare at the fucking ceiling for 5 hours, thinking about nothing but her. Thinking and thinking and thinking. And again, I'm not making it go. It is doing it to me. It's so weird. Ugh. That's never happened before, and it hasn't happened since. And as a matter of fact, now, I mean, my stress level is about as close to zero as it could possibly get, guys. And I don't suffer, really. I have emotions, but I don't suffer them. I'm not living in the emotions. I might look at them. I'm looking upon them. It's a very different experience. Enlightenment, subtle but profound. And this was 8 years ago when this happened, guys, over 8 years ago. Man, that was weird. It's painful, you guys, and this shit goes on for months, and you're desperate. It's absolutely the most desperate situation that you've ever been in your whole life. You'll do anything to make the pain stop. You'll pay any amount of money. You're paying all this money to psychics and tarot readers. And when I came onto the scene 8 years ago, they're really, the fucking twin flame community makes me so mad. And this is the kind of time you should have an emotion, right? You're supposed to get mad about something like that because it's so unjust. You've got these people taking money from others, and it's a grift. Or they're deceptive. There's a lot of that in the twin flame community. It makes me so angry to see that going on. Or they breadcrumb you. They just give you like breadcrumbs so that you'll keep paying them money. Or they charge you like $4,000. Why? Because you're desperate. So unethical. And I finally figured it out, and I said, I'm going to fix this. This needs to be done. Somebody needs to stand out and say something about this nonsense. And here I am 8 years later. There's a whole bunch of free stuff on my YouTube channel. Get started. There's a master class if you're watching in a language other than English. It's coming. I don't have it maybe done yet. Maybe you could look in the video description to see if there's a master class there. But yeah, guys, it's like that. And you know that. It's bad. It's really bad. The twin flame community, I'm sorry, but there's so much toxicity, you guys, in deception. It really pisses me off. And it shouldn't be like that because there's a lot of people that are really having this experience and they don't know what to do. It isn't right, guys. Okay, so that's the dark night of the soul. And again, if that's the only thing that happens to you and none of the other stuff that we are about to talk about happens, it's not your twin flame, dude. And that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. I don't make the rules, and neither do you. Neither do these people. That's not the way this works, guys. I'm looking at the sun, and I'm going, number one, why is it there? How did it get there? Number two, why does it rise and set every day? Well, I don't know. We could use the scientific method to maybe figure out how that happened. And we did. By the way, if you're watching me in a language other than English, I have these teaching tools available to you translated into your language because you can't read this. There's a Google Drive link in the video description with all of this stuff translated into your language. And there's no virus, there's no spam. I don't mess around with that stuff. It's a nice clean file, so go check that out. Try to help you guys out. All right. Let's talk about the most important part of this. There's two things. The next two signs that we're going to talk about, sign number 4 and 5. The first one is qualitative data. So all of these strange metaphysical and paranormal experiences. The second one is quantitative data, which is something I call the detaching test. So qualitative data is somewhat subjective. It's based sometimes, or a lot of the time, on somebody's internal experience. So somebody like a psychologist. I'm not a psychologist, but somebody like a psychologist is asking about the person's internal experiences or looking at their behavior. A parapsychologist is a psychologist who looks at maybe some of the things we're about to talk about, right? So people that are having real, authentic psychic experiences, not the made up stuff. Like I said, I'm going to have to tell you what that is, I guess, because there's mythology on the internet about that too. And paranormal researchers and parapsychologists, they know that. They know there's people that listen to the voices in their head and they've got psychosis or schizophrenia, or they're just trying to look important. Right? Again, the cool kids, the people that just want to go, oh, I'm spiritual. I met my twin flame. I've got my spirit guides talking to me all the time in my head. And they're not. They're listening to their own monkey mind, right? Your monkey mind is perfectly capable of having its own autonomous dialogue. You ever notice that? And that's fine. That's not abnormal. What is abnormal is when there's a spontaneous thought or spontaneous thought train and you believe that it's somebody talking to you. That's a problem. Right? That's like what schizophrenics and stuff like that do. So don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. No, it's not your dead grandmother, although there is such a thing as telepathy. And most of you, well, all of you, 100% of you, you will experience spontaneous intuition, which is different from telepathy. So we're going to talk about that right now. And I'm going to have to explain what these things are and what they are not. And you just have to get a high instance of them, right? Like 70, 80, 90%. And again, if you haven't, just watch this video to the end. And if you're going, well, I didn't have any of those things, any of the qualitative data, right? This is number 4, sign number 4, metaphysical and paranormal experiences, which is qualitative data, which means, well, you should be getting like 80, 90%, or at least 70%. You don't have to get them all except for intuition. You have to get that one, right? And then sign number 5 is going to be the detaching test, which is quantitative data, which is really a higher quality of data. And you might be going, well, why do they call it, so scientists, why do they call the other kind of data qualitative if it's not as good of a quality? Well, because what they mean by that is if you get 75, 80, 90% yeses to this type of data, then it's a high enough quality. You shouldn't ignore something like that, like 80% of these types of experiences. That's a lot. Quantitative data, in contrast, is more, it's cleaner data. It's a hard yes or a hard no. It either happened or it didn't. Cause and effect. On, off, right? Yes, no. And if you don't get the detaching test, sign number 5, but you got like almost all of sign number 4, the metaphysical and paranormal experiences, which are qualitative. If you get like 80 or 90% of those, but you have not gotten a detaching test, sign number 5, quantitative data, I would still tell you yes, of course. And I might give you some ideas about things you could do to try to get the detaching test to happen, but I would still tell you it's your twin flame. All the detaching test is when you let them go and they come back right away, and there's no disqualifiers. There's no outside interference. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So sign number 4, qualitative data, metaphysical and paranormal phenomenon, Kundalini. This is not my definition of Kundalini. I've already made videos about this. If you go to my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist, it's on 2 playlists. There's one playlist called the True Twin Flame Teachings. There's another playlist called Twin Flame Science. And I show you in there, there's a video called What is a Spontaneous Spiritual Awakening? And in there, I show you an old book from the 1960s. And I explain this book is going to tell you what Kundalini is. Starting in the 1970s and the 1980s is when all these people came along and they wanted to have a sense of belonging. These are very nice people. They don't mean any harm, but they're confused. And they think, oh, well, I had a rush of sexual energy. I had this biochemical rush. You know, like when you're about to have sex with somebody and there's that rush, that urge, right? That urgency. They think that's Kundalini, or hot and cold flashes, or burning, or tingles. Maybe could be something, yes. But none of that is Kundalini. All of that stuff is physiological. It's your body. Now, if you have Kundalini, you might, along with the Kundalini, have burning sensations, pain, right? Hot and cold flashes, upset stomach, I don't know. And it's usually like when the Kundalini starts, if it scares you or if you resist it, then it's like the energy builds up and you might like get a stomach ache or you might like feel some burning in your body is usually what it is. However, if those physiological symptoms are the only thing that happen, that's not Kundalini. You have to get the actual energetic Kundalini. And yes, I'm going to tell you what that is in just a second, but I want to make sure that you're clear because there are people on the internet that make stuff up about it and then they're going to gaslight you and tell you that a person like me is bad and mean and he's a narcissist and he just thinks he's right all the time, which is called gaslighting. So if you see somebody saying those types of things, what's really going on is they are a narcissist because, guys, the truth is objective. You don't decide why the sun exists or why the sun rises and sets every day. There is a reason that it does that. So there's a lot of people that came along in the 1970s and the 1980s who were doing that. They would get like a headache and they go, oh, it's Kundalini. No, guys, you could get a headache. Yes, especially if you resist the Kundalini. But if you don't have Kundalini and only have physiological symptoms, it's not Kundalini. You have to have the actual energetic experience of Kundalini. Here's what it is. It's energy. It's like a force. It's not emotions. It's not biochemical. It's not an urge or a rush of sexual energy. It starts at the base of your spine, like the tailbone, right? Like the tailbone. And it shoots all the way up your spine and out your crown. Some of you, you'll feel it stopping like right here maybe. That happens, but it usually goes all the way out your crown. It's like your spine is a water pipe. and somebody turned the water on suddenly, full blast, and you feel it traveling up your spine. And you might even physically respond to it. Oh, all right? You feel it. And it's a force, too. Most of you who experience this are also going to feel a force. Let me explain that in a second. I just want to say Kundalini happens to 8 in 10. Approximately 8 out of 10. So 80% of you will have this experience and 20% of you will not. That's why you have to get a lot of these, because it's qualitative data. You just have to get a lot of them. So Kundalini, oftentimes, so the water pipe sensation of energy shooting up your spine, it's spontaneous. It just happens. If you take ayahuasca or something like that and then you have Kundalini, that's sus. That's suspect. I would probably not want to count that. Maybe though, maybe if you got a lot of the other stuff and the detaching test, right? So you got to watch out for those types of disqualifiers. So associated with Kundalini, most of you that experience this, you're also going to feel this force of like anti-gravity, like you're being pulled up into the sky or pulled around. It's like there's a big elastic rubber band attached to your whole torso, and it's like pulling and stretching. It's a force. And there's the energy shooting up your spine like the water pipe. And it's strong. It's powerful. If you're sitting there right now, listening to my explanations, and you're going, yeah, maybe there was this one time it kind of, I don't know though, maybe not. I wonder, yeah, no, you did not. You did not have Kundalini. If you did experience it, everything that I just explained to you, you would be looking at the screen going, oh my God, that's it, that's what that was. I know what you're talking about, Kurt. You would react like that. You would know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so that's Kundalini. And again, yeah, you could have pain with the Kundalini, but there has to be the Kundalini first, not just pain. And don't listen to the New Agers on the internet. Again, if you really want to know if what I'm saying is true, go to the library and get a book that was published before the year 1970, before a lot of this pop culture spiritualism stuff started. And guys, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm being rude or a little arrogant or mean. I am not. I'm trying to make sure that you get accurate information. This matters. If you really met your twin flame, you need to have accurate information, guys. It's not going to do us any good to make stuff up about this. And I know the rest of the people that are doing those things are generally nice people, but they're confused, guys. And they're confusing you. You need correct information here. Okay, next thing, qualitative sign, number 4 category, metaphysical and paranormal phenomenon. Okay, next thing, I call it twin flame Kundalini. And it's not really Kundalini, but what it is that force. Remember I said there's the energy moving up your spine like a water, going up a water pipe, like the water, right? That's Kundalini, and you might feel this weird pulling force, pulling you up, pulling you around. It's like a big elastic rubber band attached to your whole torso, and it's like this force. It's not emotion or biochemical, it's not a rush or an urge, it's a force. It's energy. And this time, you are standing in the physical vicinity of your twin flame person. And you're only going to know if this experience has happened to you if they are there physically, right? And it's this force pulling from your body, going to them. It's awesome! Oh my God. Now, only 50% of you will have this experience. That's the data that I've gotten up to this point. If you want to know why this is happening, go watch my video called What Are Twin Flames? I just posted it, 2 weeks ago. Go to the Twin Flame Science playlist. It's energy. It's metaphysical. The reason your twin flame runs is mechanical, guys. It's not psychological. You and your twin flame are a closed energy system. I'm not going to rehash that here, but yes, you guys really are the same soul. And this is why that happens. You guys are the same soul. There's an energy difference between the two of you. It is a mechanics reason. And the energy so out of all the people who have this experience, what I call twin flame Kundalini, it's not really Kundalini, but it's that energy force pulling from you to them. It's like a big elastic rubber band attached to your whole torso, pulling from you to them, right? The people that do experience that, get this. 100% of them feel the energy is moving from them, going to their twin flame. The polarities do not switch, you guys. That's a myth. I'm the runner now. No, you're not. And if you think you are, it's because your twin flame didn't meet your expectations. You're mad and you're rejecting them because they're not acting the way you think they should. That's covert chasing. They are not going to go on the internet and look for information about twin flames and try to figure out what to do about you. They're not going to do that. You are. You are the positive polarity push energy. It's physics, guys. Now, get this. I asked my twin flame about 3 weeks after the first time that ever happened. And she said, yeah, I felt it. First of all, divine masculine, don't you think that's kind of weird? You know how sometimes you try to convince them that you're twin flames and they're not having it. They don't want to hear it. They think you're a weirdo, right? And I told her, I go, you felt it? And she goes, yeah. And I go, don't you think that's weird? And she goes, I don't know. Okay, divine masculine. That was 8 years ago. We're good now. I mean, we're together. It's fine now, but she still doesn't really believe that there's such a thing as twin flames, by the way, and yours won't either. And if they do, it's only because you are together now and they're just saying that to be nice. And some of you watching maybe have had the experience where they say to you, so they come in to be romantic, and then they go, oh, sure, you bet, we're twin flames, right? And then like a week later, the energy builds up and they run away again. And you're like, what the hell happened? Does that ever happen to you? Right. What do they do at that time? They go, I never believed we were twin flames. Ha! Right. You are the feminine. You are the awakened one. They're like subconscious. You're conscious, they are subconscious. You do some things, they respond. That's it. Well, anyway, so get this though. She said she felt the energy pushing onto her. I felt it pulling from me. She felt it pushing onto her every time. And this happened 5, 6 times. The last time it happened was actually, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 years ago. We were at a bookstore and I felt it. I felt the energy pulling to her for just a split second, right? And I looked over. She was like in another aisle, but I could see her. So I started to feel that energy, and I looked over at her, and she looked at me right at that moment, and we both knew. Right? So she knows it's real. And I asked her about that. I walked up to her and I go, did you feel it? And she goes, uh-huh. And I go, okay, was it pushing to you or pulling from you? She said it was pushing to me. Right. She's the so-called masculine. So this is, I'm telling you, I've got to put this in front of the University of Virginia or something like that, or the Monroe Institute. And I'm gonna, guys, I'm telling you, I'm coming for the internet. This is real, but again, there's all the people online who think they met their twin flame and they did not. Or then they tell you, oh, well, it's subjective. A twin flame can be anything you want it to be. Oh, really? So the moon can be the sun or a jelly donut. You bet. The moon is made out of a big jelly donut. It can be anything you want it to be. Is that how science works? No. So, this is a real paranormal phenomenon. Can you imagine if I explain all this stuff to the researchers at the University of Virginia and I go, guys, what if you had two people in the same room who were provably the same exact soul vibration, and there's even a mechanism between the two of them? You can do testing and maybe try to find some answers about how consciousness manifests onto the 3D plane. Do you think that they would be interested in that? Hell yeah, they'd be interested in that, and I'm going to do it. I'm not playing around, guys. I'm going to do it. Okay, next thing, and again, that's 50% of you will have this twin flame force, twin flame Kundalini, right? It's not really exactly Kundalini. It's akin to Kundalini. Okay, psychic dreams. Not all of you are going to have this, but psychic dreams, it could be something mundane, and I mean it. It's a psychic dream. You have dreams about future events. I'm not talking about a lucid dream. Lucid dreams are cool, though. And I've studied dreams. I've done dream analysis ever since I was 20 years old. I've been doing it for 27 years, guys. I know a lot about this. Most dreams, it's just your subconscious releasing stuff. It's just junk. It's like the exhaust system of your subconscious mind. Dreams. But every once in a while, you'll have a dream where you know that you are dreaming. That can happen. So if you've had an increase in lucid dreams, put that down too, guys. If you've had more of those lately, that happens as consciousness expands. You are aware that you are dreaming in the dream, and everything seems super realistic to you, right? Now, psychic dreams are exactly that. You'll have dreams about future events and they come true. Oh, well, Kurt, I had a dream about my twin flame. What does that mean? Well, it means that you are way too focused on them and your mind is trying to trick you into thinking about your twin flame. Your mind is trying to stay in control. Okay? That's why you are having dreams about your twin flame. Unless you have a dream about them, and then the next day you get out of bed and you see them around, and you end up having the same interaction with them that you had in the dream. Then it is a psychic dream. It has to be information about the future that comes true, right? And I'm telling you, guys, the mind, it'll use, there's 900 different ways to Sunday for the mind to trick you into thinking about your twin and focusing on them, which is why they run. Your mind wants to stay in control. This is what I coach my twin flame students on. I'm always talking about this on my live streams. Your mind is a tricky bitch, and it wants to stay in charge. Don't let it trick you. Read this book. Stop chasing your twin flame. Stop doing anything about them. Meditate. Read this book, The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle, the modern day Buddha. Really good. Here's another book. This is another really good book for beginners. It's called The Untethered Soul. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. the untethered soul. And it's the same thing. He's going to start talking to you about you are not your mind. It's the basic tenet of genuine spiritualism. And then the next thing, of course, is you are consciousness, this mysterious force that can't be understood, but you can experience it because you are that. Now, next thing, so psychic dreams, let me tie up a loose end. It could be literal, so you can have a psychic dream, and it could be something totally mundane, like the things you're going to do the next day, and then you get up out of bed and you start doing things, and as you're going about your day, you're like, I dreamt all this. Like maybe you have a conversation with somebody and you're like, that was in the dream, huh? Or it could be a metaphor, right? So in other words, you know how dreams, it's always usually going to be like some weird symbolism. And after 27 years, I kind of, you might already know how to do this too, but the symbolism is kind of obvious. It's subjective. It's kind of like right-brained kind of stuff. And I always try to remember my dreams. Like first thing when I wake up, I try to remember the dream that I just had to see if this happens. It's like an experiment that I like to try to do, but it'll be like events that I ended up doing the next day, but they were shown to me in the form of weird dream symbolism. So it's like stuff like that too, right? Another thing, by the way, last thing on this talking point, if you have a psychic dream, and it's maybe even one of these where it's just like mundane stuff, like what you're doing the next day, you know, driving to work, what kind of sandwich you had at lunch, right? Let's say in the dream, you ordered a ham sandwich in the dream, and fuck that. You're like, no, I'm going to get a chicken sandwich. No, not even that. I'm not going to have a sandwich. I'm going to go get a pizza just to do the opposite thing of what the dream had. Yeah, right? So that brings up an interesting point about destiny. If you're having, because I did this once. I was having these types of psychic dreams every day for like 4 days in a row. And on day 5, I was like, I'm going to do the opposite thing this time. And I did. And it broke the whole universe. Everybody ceased to exist. We all died. No, I'm just joking. Okay, deja vu. Have you noticed a radical, doesn't have to be a radical increase, but an increase of deja vu? Have you experienced that? That one's not hard to explain. Okay. Spontaneous intuition, 100% of you. All of the other qualitative signs that we've discussed up to this point, not every one of you has to get those things. This one you must get. You must get spontaneous intuition. If you have not gotten this yet, don't worry. Maybe you will. Like I've been saying, just give it some more time, have some experiences, stop chasing your twin flame, start meditating. Instead, slow down, guys. Stop making this about this person. They'll be there. They'll come back. Don't worry about it. You can't be chasing them anyway. It works the opposite, okay, for them to come back. But anyway, if you do that, if you can make those lifestyle changes, then some of these things might start to happen if they have not already been happening. And when they start happening, it's going to be a lot. It's a lot, you guys. It's spontaneous. It happens a lot, and it just happens. You're not really trying to do it. All you did was say, okay, I'm going to stop chasing this person, and then you have an out-of-body experience. Or intuition. So psychic intuition is coming from your body. It's coming from your body, not your brain. We'll talk about telepathy, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. Intuition, telepathy are two different types of psychic ability, okay? So what I'm talking about is psychic intuition. It's a knowing. Most of the time, it feels a little bit like deja vu, okay? So deja vu is, again, you're going about your day and all of the sudden you have this weird knowing. And it could even be a really strong one. Like it overtakes you and you're like, whoa, I've been here before, right? And your mind starts thinking about it like, well, did you do this last Tuesday? Did you do it yesterday? Did you do it a month ago? Did you dream about it? Are you sure? Oh my God, this is deja vu. No, I think it's really deja vu. These are all thoughts. Notice there's the thinking and there's the knowing. Those are two different things because they are coming from two places. The thinking is the mind. The knowing is the soul, guys. It's spiritual. And it is this weird, eerie knowing. I just know I've done this before. How do I know that? Well, your higher self can see future times that you cannot see. And I made a video about that. Again, it's called What Are Twin Flames on my Twin Flame Science playlist where I explain how time works. Okay, so intuition can feel like deja vu, not always, but it often does. And they can be faint. They can be coming usually from the heart, sometimes kind of like your solar plexus or your sacral, but generally from your torso. And it's like this glowing, emanating information. It's this knowing about future events, something about another person, or something that's true for you. And it's going to be some information that you already did not know about. And you have this knowing. It's not conceptual. It's not thinking. It's this weird, eerie knowing emanating from your torso. And it's often, not always, but often it feels kind of like deja vu a little bit. It's just the information is different. So with deja vu, the information is telling you, I've been here before. With intuition, the information is telling you about future events or something like that. The carrier wave for both of them is this knowing. This weird knowing is like the carrier frequency. And then the information on the carrier frequency is either deja vu, I've been here before, or intuition. Now, the things that you are shown during an intuitive experience, they must come true. This is, of course, critical, because if they don't come true, then it's not intuition. And again, be careful. There's people on the internet with obsessive love disorder that go, well, it felt real, so you're a narcissist and you're bad because you don't believe me. I don't care if it felt real. And this is exactly the kind of thing that a psychologist has to sift through. People who feel things and it's not really something at all. And a psychologist is trained to ask specific questions to figure out if the internal experience that the patient is having is a match to what they're looking for. Also, parapsychologists, and I'm neither of those, but I know that's what they do. And a parapsychologist is going to ask you questions like the ones that I'm talking about here today. Okay, so that's intuition. 100% of you will have that. They can be faint, little bouts of intuition, or powerful ones that overtake you. And it's this weird knowing emanating from your chest, right? And the information comes true. By the way, if you have a strong, powerful intuitive hit, sometimes those come with some kind of a vision, like you'll see a flash of an image in your head. Like one time, I was told about a trip that I would take to Florida intuitively, and I saw my feet and my twin flames feet too. We both were standing on the beach. Well, it came true, and we weren't planning anything. She had a work conference in Florida about a year later, and I said, well, fuck, I'll go down there with you. And we did a live stream. We did 2 of them on my YouTube channel. I had to take them down. I've already talked about this. Somebody made a death threat because people do that. There's wackadoodles out there with schizophrenia that are listening to the voices in their head, and they think that they are psychic, and they see me talking about it, telling them that they are not psychic, and it makes them mad, and so they gave me a death threat. I don't know if that's why that happened, but you guys, Bjork got a death threat once. Lots of people get death threats when you're in this position of being a public figure. You know, the Icelandic pop singer, Bjork? Yeah, some guy mailed her a bomb once. Why? She sings love songs and songs about her kids. I don't know, because there's crazy people out there, guys. All I do is make videos about the law of attraction and how to meditate, and I gotta have that shit. So are you sure you want to be a YouTuber? Anyway, so I had to take the live streams down. She got scared. I took them down. However, if you go watch any of my recent live streams, I'll show you like a picture to prove that I did it. And there's a lot of people on my English-speaking YouTube channel who can vouch. And if you're watching, maybe leave a comment in the comments below. You'll go, yep, I watched the live stream. She was there. We did one from our living room one time. She used to help me with tarot readings. Well, anyway, the reason I'm telling you all this is I had this psychic vision about that trip, and we actually went and did that in Florida, right? But I saw our feet on the beach in the water, and I had this knowing about it. And so I wrote it down. If you're getting these psychic visions, write them down, guys. Write down the date and the time that you had it, and then write down as best as you can what it is. In a lot of them, you're going to be a little bit off. Like you might go back a year later and look at it and go, oh, it was actually this other thing, right? But you'll be close, even if you're a little bit off. Let's talk about telepathy. Hold on, I have to go grab something. Okay, telepathy. Again, psychic ability, right, is the parent term. And then under that is intuition, we just talked about. There's different types of intuition, by the way. So I did not cover all of them. So, and I'm doing that to save time, but there's other things. Okay, telepathy, and there's different types here too. But the 2 things that I am covering with you today, the intuition, that will happen to 100% of you. That's why I'm just going to talk about that instead of all the other. There's other little phenomenon under that. And then telepathy, same thing. There's other little phenomenon under that. But I'll just give you 2 quick examples of other phenomenon under that where, like, I could smell or taste things, and it was connected to an event that happened immediately after that, right? Like one time I was given a tarot reading to somebody, and she was talking about a date that she had with her twin flame, and I could taste gin on my tongue. And I go, did you guys have gin? Did you have gin drinks? And she goes, yeah, we did. How did you know that? Right? So stuff like that could happen. Okay, telepathy generally is in your pineal gland. So if my fingers could touch, that's where the pineal gland is. Again, this is not my opinion, including the intuition that I just explained to you. It is not my opinion. There are parapsychologists and paranormal researchers like Julia Mossbridge. I'll link a video to her if you want to see who I'm talking about, that are doing controlled, peer-reviewed scientific research into telepathy, psychic phenomenon, other types of things, right? Why? Because they're finding things. They're finding that it's true, and they can prove it to the public, and they can prove it to large institutions who give them money to do research on it. So again, this is the experience of telepathy. This is not what Kurt says. And intuition too. Okay, so it's in your pineal gland. Now this is important because somebody with psychosis or something like that, well, they're going to be listening to their own monkey mind and thinking, if you've ever been meditating, or like you'll be laying there in bed at night or something, and you'll hear like thoughts coming from over here, and it'll say something maybe even like, oh, you shouldn't have had that piece of pizza, right? And it says, you shouldn't have had that piece of pizza. Well, who are you talking to, Mr. Mind? Right? Oh, it's my spirit guides. It's my guardian angel. It's my twin flame. No, it's a thought. I had one customer one time on my group call who lied and lied and lied. And she even tricked me. I told her at the end, I gave her my twin flame test on the call. And I said, well, you're getting all of them, so I guess it's your twin flame. I told her, but I was like, something's not right here. Right, she probably had psychosis or something like that, or schizophrenia. I don't know who these people are that I'm talking to, but I later realized, yeah, she was lying. She was like getting her answers to fit my questions. And she also said she can hear her twin flame talking to her on this side of her head, and her spirit guides talking to her on this side of her head. No. That's not how telepathy works, and that's not what I think. Real telepathy only comes from one place in your head, and it is the pineal gland. Again, where my fingers are touching. That is the only place. And it's sound. This is key. It's sound. It's like there's a little telephone speaker in your pineal gland. I have my little audio recorder here. Listen to this. Hello, this is your pineal gland. Can you hear me? Hello. Now, you can tell just by listening to that it's like low audio quality, right? It sounds like a little speaker or a little telephone speaker, right? It's like low audio quality. And it's sound, guys, coming from your pineal gland. And it's usually somebody's voice, but it's low audio quality. It's a sound, not a thought. Hello, this is your pineal gland. Can you hear me? Hello. Now, hello. So the people that I've spoken to who have experienced this, as soon as I'm done explaining all of that, they go, yeah, that's what it was. So if you are sitting there and you're going, well, I don't know. Yeah, then you did not. You did not have telepathy. And it's okay. There's a lot of other crazy shit that we still have to talk about. Most people don't have telepathy, like full-blown third eye telepathy. Most people on this journey do not experience that. It's 1 in 10, maybe. But when you do, it'll catch your attention. And it could be somebody else's voice. It is somebody else's voice. I had a guy last week, I was giving him a twin flame test, and he said there was some German woman talking to him. And I confirmed. I asked him all the questions, and he wasn't a Looney Tune. He was not. He was fine, guys. This happens. I've had that happen. And it's probably happened 10 times in my whole life. The last time it happened, it was some woman, And it happened twice. And I don't know, my great-grandma, I don't know. The first time it ever happened, it was a friend of mine who was going through a spontaneous spiritual awakening. This was about 25 years ago. His awakening was triggered by life circumstances, and he came out of the ego death and became psychic, and he's one of the most psychic people I've ever seen. He's crazy psychic, and just being in his presence, one time I picked up on one of his thoughts, and it was in his voice, and it was a sound, guys, in my pineal gland in his voice, as though we're talking on the telephone, right? So this woman one time, this would have been 4 years ago. I was standing in my kitchen looking at the wall. There's like a big empty wall. And I just moved into this house and I'm looking at the wall going, what could I put there? I could put a picture there. Everybody always puts a picture though. Maybe if I got like one of my own pictures that I took and I could blow it up, maybe I could do something like that and I could get it framed. And a clock! Yeah, a clock. That actually is a good idea. Who are you? It was like that. And actually I did get a clock. I got a nice round clock. You'll see it in my videos sometimes. And it looks great. It was like such a good idea, right? And it was a woman's voice. So I don't know, my great-grandma? I have no idea, guys. The next night, I ordered a pizza, which I'm not supposed to do. I'm trying not to eat like that, right? And I've gotten a lot better since then. But I did. I ordered a pizza, and I was laying in bed thinking about it, and I'm like, why do I want to eat those so bad? Because I kept doing that. I would like order a pizza at night, and we would just chill out on the couch or something. And I was thinking about that, and I heard, because it's addictive. And it was the same woman. I have no idea who it was, you guys. I don't know. But if it happens to you, you're going to know it. You're going to know it based on my description here. And again, this is not what I think. This is what a paranormal researcher like Julia Mossbridge is going to describe to you, right? And she works with people that have these types of experiences. Okay, non-dual merging. An experience of oneness with God, the universe, or the divine. Remember this? Spontaneous spiritual awakenings, peer-reviewed. Research paper, controlled science from prestigious universities. Okay, spontaneous spiritual awakenings are subjective experiences characterized by a sudden sense of direct contact, union, or complete non-dual merging, experience of oneness, with a perceived ultimate reality, the universe, God, or the divine. And this one, oh man. So that's what the word union is. And there can be a general sense of connectedness to everything in your daily life, yes. But what I'm talking about right now, what I would be looking for if I was giving you a twin flame test, is a single event. You're going about your day, and all of a sudden, it stops you in your tracks. You are overcome with this experience that you are the sky and the trees and the clouds and the buildings and the people and the cars, and I am all of it. And you don't know how you know that, but you know it. It's like intuition. It's this knowing emanating from you. And it's not even that you are one with everything. I mean, that's a true statement, but it's more like There is only one, and I am that. I am all of it. It's really, really powerful. And I just did the student interview with Rain on my Twin Flame Success Stories playlist. And she goes, yep, that's right around the time my twin flame contacted me. Yeah, me too. Why? Because you're not separate from them. You are one with them, you guys. That's why the word union got into the twin flame community, but now everybody thinks it's a relationship status with your twin flame. That's not what that word is. And again, these guys, the masters, they're always using that word, and separation too. They use the word separation to describe the mind. So that's what that is. Okay, Satori, which is, again, it's an experience. It like overtakes you, and it's like your mind turns all the way off. It shuts off. And you're left feeling this deep sense of nirvana. It's bliss, and everything is perfection. And it's this, that's the best I can explain it. It's because these things sometimes are hard to describe because they're beyond mind, right? But this is called Satori, and it's just this being. That's all. It's wonderful when that happens. And you can actually, if you get really good at meditating, you can cause it to happen. Okay, something that I call the numbness phase. Now, this usually happens if you are detaching from your twin and you stop chasing them, right? And you try to start meditating or something, like detox from them. Students of mine who come into my program and they're still in this addictive state, maybe there's still some obsessive thinking, they still want to chase their twin flame, they come into my program and I put you through a really super strict detox. So they start doing the detox and immediately they have this experience. So one day, you get out of bed. This is what happened to me. I get on the train to go to work. I used to work in downtown Denver, and I had lived on the edge of the Denver region. Take the train all the way in. I get to work. By the time I get off the train, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the middle of downtown. There's 30-story, 40-story skyscrapers all around. And there's got to be this construction crew at 7 o'clock in the morning in the street there with the fucking jackhammers being all damn loud. And normally, I would have been like this. Oh, you insufferable maniacs. It's 7 o'clock, right? Because the jackhammer is all reverberating and echoing off the buildings, and it's all fucking loud. No, not this time. I got off the train, and the jackhammers were going, and it was being all loud, echoing off the buildings, and I felt like I was not part of this physical world anymore. I call this the numbness phase. And this usually lasts for maybe a day, maybe a half a day. It's not very long. I felt like I was transported to another world, but I was still walking around. I was walking around in this world, but I felt like I was not part of it anymore. And associated with this experience is this sense of emotional numbness. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel bad. It's numbness. It's like when the dentist, they take Novocaine to your gums and you can't feel anything, right? It's numbness. It doesn't hurt. It's not a negative experience. This whole experience that I'm describing to you, it's not negative. It's numbness. And you don't feel like you're in this world anymore. It's like you're in another dimension or something. And you're like walking around in it like you're a space traveler in an alien world. It's so bizarre. And then the next day it was gone, like it had never happened. Now, what happened? Well, I detoxed from my twin and I switched over I switched over. I'm telling you, if you guys start doing this journey right, it'll carry you along automatically if you let it, but you got to stop chasing your twin flame. So I switched over from being primarily identified as an ego mind, the ego mask, to the soul. The momentum was shifted in favor of soul identification. And you go through this kind of like fulcrum. You go through this crossing over point, right? And it's from that point on, that's the point of no return. You're not going back ever again. Your old life is gone forever. Now, there's still more changes and things that are going to happen. And you're going to have to learn mindfulness and, meditate and everything like that. But you'll never be the same after that point, you guys. Okay, heart chakra opening. Again, not everybody gets all these. You will get spontaneous intuition, 100% of you. You must get intuition. And yes, it could be, by the way, information about your twin flame. Yeah. The first time I ever got like a really strong one, she just like sent me a breakup text for the 5th time. And I was about to like break down. This is like over 8 years ago. I saw the text message. I stood up at my desk. I looked over. And I just was overcome with this knowing that she's going to be back in 2 weeks, and she did. And the events that unfolded for that to take place were so extraordinary and synchronistic. And you'll get weaker ones. You'll get little faint ones. You'll just know things. It's mysterious. It's this knowing, but they keep coming true. Okay, heart chakra opening. Okay. This is an event. It takes place typically over the course of about 1 to 2 weeks. And it comes generally in like 10 or 20-minute spurts, right? Over the course of 1 or 2 weeks-ish, could vary. And every time one of these happens, it's, again, 10 or 20 minutes. It's this emotion in your heart, and it can be eros, which is like romantic love, passion, right? Limerence, kind of like love, like romantic love. It could also be divine love, agape, which is the perfect love of God, like the beauty of all the earth and the birds and the trees and the clouds, and you can't believe that you're alive, and it's just all so beautiful, right? Agape. So it could be one of these. It could be something else that's similar too, but it's love. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Some people during the dark night of the soul, they report pain. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. Make sure there's nothing wrong. But yes, there could be pain. People call that your core wound. All right, sure, you could call it that. I don't know, whatever. But it's really your heart. Like, think of like you have a clogged pipe. And you get the plumber in there, and he gets a big blower, and he goes, and he starts blowing on it, and out the other end comes this shit spewing out of the pipe because you haven't been using it for like 20 fucking years, your heart, right? That's why a lot of these spiritual gifts are starting to come online, right? And so at first it's pain because all the dark, nasty shit's coming out. Now what I'm talking about, which again, all of this stuff happens after the dark night of the soul. Some of it can start happening a little bit during the dark night of the soul, but this stuff really starts happening after the dark night of the soul. So that's what heart chakra opening feels like now. This is very important. This is key. It's really, really powerful. Oh, when it happened to me, I remember like driving around, like pounding on the damn steering wheel because it was just too much. And it doesn't hurt. I'm talking about heart chakra opening, not the core wound activation. Heart chakra opening is where all the junk is out now of the water pipe, and now beautifulness is flowing, okay? A lot. And it's so much love. I thought I was gonna pass out. I had to pull over. It doesn't hurt. It feels really good. It's so much love that I remember thinking to myself, am I going to pass out? Can your heart physically withstand this much love? It feels good, but damn. It was a lot. And I happened to have the Eros type of love, the romantic love. So at first I thought it was because of her. But then years later, now that I'm doing essentially this kind of paranormal research, I found out most of you experience agape love at this time. And then I found out it's a real thing, heart chakra opening. How about that? And especially after heart chakra opening, you are going to have some incredible intuitive experiences, psychic experiences. Okay, out-of-body experiences. Now, there's a few different ways that this can kind of manifest. I'm not going to be able to cover all the bases, but I'll try to do the big ones. So, normally when people think of an out-of-body experience, it's like full-blown leaving your body and like flying around. And I'm not talking about during a dream. I'm not talking about during a dream. I'm talking about when you are awake and you are fully conscious. Okay. So it can be like full-blown leaving your body and flying around and seeing some stuff and then coming back. But for most of you, it'll be something like, for example, you're sitting and meditating, and all of a sudden there's this weird shift, and you feel like, or a drifting, there could be a drifting sensation, but you feel like you're watching yourself from an outside perspective. Really, and then when you come out of the meditation, you're like, whoa, what just happened? Right? That's an out-of-body experience. Another kind that you can have, this is the one that I had. I was laying on my couch and I just woke up. I was awake. And then I closed my eyes. I was still awake, but I could close my eyes and I could feel myself starting to expand. And that's the best way that I can explain it. It wasn't my body, but it was me. Not my body, but me. Right? Consciousness. And I expanded so far that I went all the way down the hallway. 2 doors down, my next door neighbor, well, not next door, but 2 doors away from me. And it's like I was in their living room and I was sitting right next to the girl and I could hear her talking. And she was talking in like a normal conversation voice. She wasn't being loud. There's a whole apartment between her apartment and my apartment. Multiple walls, right? How come I can hear her talking? And I could hear everything she was saying like I was sitting there. Well, I asked her about it. The next day I saw her in the hallway. And I go, hey, were you talking about this and this? And she's going, yeah. How did you know that, you weirdo? And I told her, I go, I had an out-of-body experience, dude. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. A desire to commune with God and nature. You just feel drawn to doing that. Like you just know, I want to do that. You want to commune with God and nature. You want to meditate. You want to spend time in solitude, and you don't know why. What is happening to me? Right? That's an easy one. Okay, ringing in the ear. If you have tinnitus, I mean, maybe that's kind of a disqualifier. I actually had somebody a couple weeks ago who has diagnosed tinnitus. He was in the military, and he said, yeah, tinnitus is actually this over here. What I experienced was not that. It was ringing. So I guess maybe the ringing in the ear isn't exactly tinnitus. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, guys. But if you're hearing ringing in the ear and you have a history of listening to loud rock music with your earphones all the time, or you were in the military, guns, right? They're really loud. You know, maybe go talk to a doctor, but it's a thing. Ear ringing. Yeah, your consciousness is increasing so fast and your body is trying to keep up with it. And I still get these sometimes. I get all of these things sometimes still. It's nothing like it was at the beginning. These things will, if you stop chasing your twin flame, they will die down over time. And you want that. You want that to happen, because at the end of all of these crazy experiences is, number one, enlightenment, which is awesome. And when you get to enlightenment, you're going to say, oh, this isn't any big deal. And I always was. I never got to enlightenment. I always was this. But when you're on your way there, it feels like you are on your way there. It's a strange paradox. Okay, also, when you get to the end, your twin flame comes back, and you don't have to do anything to get them to come back, guys. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. All right. Okay, this is everybody's favorite. The numbers. The numbers. All right. 1111, 111, 222, 2222, 333, 444, 555, 1234. I literally just saw 5151. As I said that, I looked, right? That was the next thing I was going to say, is repeating patterns like 5151 or 2626. Lots of 1111. You're always going to get that. Lots and lots of that. 111 and lots of it. And when I'm giving these tests to people, if they get none of this other stuff that we just talked about, but they're getting the numbers, then I ask them, yeah? So where do you see these numbers? And they go, oh, I see them on my phone a lot. Do you see them on billboards? No. License plates? No. Bumper sticker? No. Television? No. Magazines? No. Grocery store receipt? No. Computer? No. Just your cell phone? Yeah, all the time. Do you guys see the problem? So make sure you're not doing that, right? You're on purpose looking at your phone 100 times a day. And 3 times out of 100, it's 1111. What are the odds? 100%. It's 100% that you're going to see 1111 if you check your phone 100 times a day. No, this is happening spontaneously. It's like the fucking numbers are following you. Another number that you could be getting is 144 or 1144. And you guys, I don't get that. And if you get into the comments of my video and go, yes, it's because there's 144,000 twin flames, I'm going to block you. That is a myth. And I'm tired of hearing it. Nobody knows what that number is. No one. It's talked about in the Bible. And I even found some people, he was actually a pastor. And he did a very, and say what you want about, religious people, but this time I'll give credit where credit was due. He did do a very good job of giving an unbiased explanation of where that number is in the Bible without adding any interpretation to it. He just explained it. And even he was like, yeah, nobody really knows what that number is, guys. Now, meanwhile, out there in the world, everybody thinks they're the 144,000. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, Twin Flames, Mormons. They all say that. So that's just ego, you guys. Nobody knows what that is. But many of you are going to see that number around, and I did. Now, not all of you are going to see that number around, and this is something I've done to date. I've done 35 twin flame tests, and I've got more scheduled. I'm going to keep doing them. Again, if you go to my website and there's no button there, you can contact us, but we're going to tell you no. If there's no button, I stopped doing them. I am working like 70 hours a week right now, literally, and I love it. I love it, but I've got other projects I got to work on in the future, guys. But right now, I am offering twin flame tests. But again, you don't have to pay me. You could just finish watching this video, and if you're still not sure, then get a test. But that's another piece of information that I noticed I have to start keeping track of, because some people get 144 and some don't, and it's such a mysterious number. You know, it's that mysterious number from the Bible. So why do some people get it and others don't? I don't know, but I'm going to start keeping track of it and maybe I'll figure it out, guys. Okay, strange synchronistic events that seem to be coordinated by a higher power. So it's like you're going around your day or your week, or your month. And all of these, what ordinarily would be chance encounters with people or experiences that you're having, you start to see how these events are all connected. And it has to be that those future events were already pre-planned. The future events were pre-planned when you were having the other experiences in the past. You know what I'm talking about? Strange synchronistic events that seem like they are being coordinated by a higher power. And you're looking at the sky going, what are you trying to tell me? Right, well, that is God trying to talk to you, the universe. You're surrounded by this divine intelligence, and consciousness exists on a higher plane where there is no time, guys. It's this force all around you that's able to see past and future simultaneously. So yeah, it is coordinating synchronistic events. Here's another one. I didn't want to forget to mention this. You'll find this very interesting. Right before the dark night of the soul started to happen for me, right before, I got promoted at my job. I was working in the loan department and I was having a good time, but you know, you want to move up, you want to make more money. All right, sure. Kurt, you want to work for the credit department? You can work for the credit department. You don't have a college degree. We don't care. We know you're a smart dude. We'll train you, which is awesome. I felt flattered because they've never done that before and they did it for me. Well, get this. As soon as I get in there, they leave my desk in the same office. My boss, my new boss, she's the credit manager. She's in another part of the building, and I'm just there's her in her office, and then there's a bank of like 15 people working under her right next to her office, right? And I'm in this satellite office way over there on the other side of the building, and she's not giving me any work to do. I went to a few meetings, but there's no training going on. She's not giving me any work to do at all. And so I kind of just fucked around with some spreadsheets and I found random things to do, but I really didn't do a lot of work at all. And nobody was watching me at all. Nobody was giving me any work to do. Get this. Right when I got into that new position, that's when the dark night of the soul started. And thank God, because you guys, I could not function. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't concentrate on my work at all. I was worthless. And if I would have still been in my old job position, I probably would have gotten fired. That's how bad it was, you guys. Now, get this. That happens to 90% of you. Remember I mentioned this earlier? What are the odds? What are the odds? 9 out of 10 of the respondents, tell me in the comments down below. 9 out of 10 said, yeah, I had that same exact thing happen. It's like my life situation rearranged itself to facilitate this ego death process, this dark night of the soul that I had to go through. Whoa. Right? Also, the majority of those people who had a new life situation, a new job position, to facilitate the ego death, the majority of those people went right back to their old job or another job where they had to work again. You have to do real work. You have to go back to work now, right? After the dark night of the soul stopped. And that happened to me right after I started to recover from the dark night of the soul. I went back to my old job and I had to work again. Guys, the timing, it's like the table had been set for me. Somebody set the table. And that's the thing. It's always like that with these synchronicities, guys. Weird, but it is awesome. It is totally cool, guys. All right. Oh, this is cool. So again, this is all after the dark night of the soul. A sense of magic all around. Like there is something magical waiting for you around every corner. And you just know that your life is about to change in ways that you can't explain. I know that there is something bigger unfolding, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to let it happen. You know? It's like there's this wonder and magic, and you know big changes are coming, and you know it. It's a knowing. It is such a magical experience, you guys. It was at this time in my life, at the beginning, right after the dark night of the soul, when the intuition was the heaviest, and this Kundalini I was having. I would see pennies everywhere. I've always had a thing with pennies my whole life. It was like a reminder from God. Hey, I'm here. I'm God. You're not alone, right? This time I would see them all the time. And it would be when I would get like a breakup text from my twin flame again, there would be pennies. I would turn the corner and there's pennies right there. Just shit like that all the time, every day. It was awesome. Okay. I have another category on here called other weird paranormal things. So strange sensations, tingling, or experiences that you are having that I haven't covered here. One of the things that it could be is, again, maybe tingling. If tingling is the only thing you're getting, go see a doctor. You probably didn't meet your twin flame. You got to get a large quantity of the things we just talked about. And if you're getting tingling with those other things, then I would say, yeah, it's your twin flame, and you're having a spontaneous spiritual awakening, which was triggered by the meeting of this person. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, damn it. If you had these experiences before you met the person that you are calling twin flame, it's not your twin flame, dude. And that's not open for debate. That's not my opinion. There had to be some other triggering event. The way for anybody to tell if you and this person are the same soul, twin flame, is if they trigger the awakening, guys. That is how you tell. So if you disagree with me on that point, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man. Truth is truth. 1 + 1 is 2. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. It's not your twin flame. And It's like, why would you want to argue with me about that? Go stay obsessed with this person then. I don't care. If you were to sign up for my coaching program and follow all the steps, your person is not going to come back. Why? Because they're not your twin flame, dude. If you had these things happen to you before you met this person, they will not come back. Why? Because you're not twin flames. Okay? That right there, that's one of the next things we're going to talk about. Okay, here's something interesting that happened to me, though, that falls under this category. I was visited by a physical angel. I'm going to have to put that video on here in your language soon, I guess. The time that I was visited by an angel, which this was actually the third time in my whole life. The first time I was like 5 or 6 years old, and it left me a feather, and I had that feather for years. I had the physical feather, so I know I didn't make it up because I had the physical feather. Well, this time it was some woman on a train, and I'd have to make a whole 20-minute video to explain the experience to you, but I'll tell you what, just go right now to, there's a playlist on my English-speaking YouTube channel called Kurt's Spiritual Autobiography, and there's a video on there called I Was Touched by an Angel. There's another video where I was visited by angels when I was a boy. But this time I'm talking about she sat down right across from me. This was during this period when I'm having all these weird paranormal and metaphysical experiences. This was 8 years ago. And she sat down right across from me. And I call her the elephant lady. Just go watch the video. Maybe I'll redo it one of these days. And then if you're watching me in a language other than English, you'll see why. It was such an extraordinary experience. And I have no idea who that was. Maybe she's the woman that told me to put a clock in my dining room. I mean, I don't know, guys. But I should have talked to her. Oh, I should have talked to her. Damn it. I wasn't meant to, and I'm sure she knew that I wouldn't because I was like all in a hurry to get to work. So I got off the train and, I don't know, she got off the train on the next stop and then went and walked into an alleyway and evaporated. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck was this woman? Right? The things that she did during that experience. Yeah, I don't know, some kind of an angel or something. And she wanted to get my attention. God, that was so fucking weird. Okay, next thing. Even after all this stuff, guys, even after all this, what if I told you in a twin flame test, it's not your twin flame? What if I told you that? How would that make you feel if you paid me $200 to give you a test, and then we get to the end and I go, yeah, it's not your twin flame? How would you feel about that? What would you say? Right? And again, we just kind of talked about this. Because some people, they want to argue. They want to bargain. They want to, are you sure? Well, come on, Kurt, what about this? And what about this? And what about that? What about the obsessive thinking and the crying? Well, did you leave your body? Are you having psychic experiences? No, but I cried a whole bunch, Kurt. Come on. It's my twin flame. You don't know what you're talking about, Kurt. Kurt's a narcissist. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Right. All the people on Reddit saying mean things about me, and I don't care if you like me or not. I'm going to tell the truth about this, guys. So, this is a trick question on my twin flame test that I ask people because I want to see what they do. If you have an ego investment of, I'm a twin flame and I am so honored to be a part of this important community, right? So the cool kids, the people that just want to be cool and they want to stand out and they want to say, oh, I'm special because I met my twin flame, and they're not having any of this stuff happen at all. And they're not going to have the detaching test, which is what we're going to talk about next, right? Your twin flame never comes back no matter what you do. Why? Because it's not your twin flame, dude. We're going to talk about that. That's the quantitative data, remember? So the people who instead, they respond by going, well, Kurt, I would be relieved. Or, I guess I wouldn't really care, Kurt. If that's their answer, you just increased my ability to tell you, yes, it's your twin flame, because they've got no ego investment in it. And they're not just obsessed with somebody. And the whole entire twin flame community on the internet is reinforcing somebody's delusion, and they just have obsessive love disorder. Or they're one of the cool kids, and the whole internet is telling them, oh yeah, a twin flame is anything you want it to be. It's totally subjective. It's whatever you say it is. Don't listen to science. Another thing, if I tell you it's not your twin flame, you could even say something like, really? Well, okay, I mean, I guess I have to figure out what the hell happened then. You know, they're going to have a reaction like that. They're not going to argue. They're not going to beg me. You know what I mean? They're not going to try to bargain with me. They're just going to be like, oh, well, okay. Then what do you think it was, Kurt? And I've gotten them. I've gotten people where they had some kind of an experience. I even had one person one time that, well, I'm not going to tell you, but they've got something going on, but it wasn't a twin flame, right? I've had a few of those. And then I've also had people where they're just obsessed, or they want to be one of the cool kids and they try to argue with me. But again, if that's not you, if your reaction is like, oh, well, I guess I would be relieved, or I wouldn't really care, or I would be like, oh, okay, like accepting, you know, then you passed the test on that one. That was a trick question, right? I get to the end of my twin flame test and I go, yeah, it's not your twin flame. What do you think about that? And they go, like one of those things. They kind of accept that, right? They don't argue or anything. And that's a sign to me that there's no ego investment. And I mean the word ego in the most clinical way possible. The mental self-concept, this identity. I am a twin flame. That's who I am. No, you are a soul with an ego mask of self-concept and a body, right? Body, mind, soul, right? And people that believe they are the self-concept, they feel attacked. It's like you're attacking their very existence just by asking them rational questions, because their whole identity is built around being a twin flame. You don't want to do that, guys. Don't do that. If you really met your twin flame, don't do that. And don't say I'm a spiritual person either. Don't do that, right? Which, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to call it, but, you know, if you create an identity out of that, that's the problem. Spiritualism is beyond identity and form, guys. That's why it's kind of an oxymoron to say I'm a spiritual person, but it's like, well, I don't know what to call it then. I have awakened to consciousness. I have awakened to consciousness, and that does not make me better than anybody, but I am awakened. You know, I guess that's what we'll call it. Anyway, okay. Positive life changes. That's the last one. We'll come back to that. Visions of being them. Visions of being them. So these are psychic visions where it's like a flash. The first time I ever heard of this, this was actually pretty recent, maybe 4 months ago. And when I saw this person say that she had a psychic vision of being them, not being with them, being them, being them. Kind of like that movie Being John Malkovich, if you've ever seen that movie. It's like a first-person vision of something they are doing, like you are them. I saw her describing it, and of course, right away I'm skeptical because I have a scientific mind. My default setting is I don't believe you. Anytime somebody tells me they met their twin flame, the first thought I have is probably not. I don't believe you. And then I start asking them a bunch of questions, and if they get the right answers, then I believe you. I need evidence, guys. But here's what happened. There were probably 15 people in the comments going, you too? What the hell is that? Yeah, me too, guys. Yeah, everybody like got into the comments, and I was like, well, there's a lot of people. And I knew who some of the people were too. They were in my paid coaching program. I had talked to these people. I know they're not crazy, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. People who say, I had a past life vision from a past life when I was with my twin flame. No, you didn't. That's not, you're not the same soul then. Again, I'm telling you, the cool kids on the internet, they want to say they're a twin flame. Maybe they're a soulmate. You've had past lives with this other soul, and so you have an outside perspective, memory, flashback of something they were doing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a flashback vision of something they are doing in this life. And you're looking at things as though you are your twin flame in the first person, looking out through their eyes. That's the same soul, right? And this was the woman that left this comment in my Facebook group. She said, yeah, it was a vision of me walking down some steps in a foreign country. And I didn't know he went to that country. And later, when I was able to talk to him again, I asked him about it. And he said, yeah, I did go on vacation there. And she goes, did you ever walk down these certain steps? It was like a famous building. It's in Europe. And he goes, yeah, I did go there and walk down those steps. How did you know that? Okay. Two more things on this. The qualitative experiences. Number 4. We're still on sign number 4. I told you this video is going to be long. It's going to be comprehensive, and this is going to be the last fucking time I do this video. Okay. Intuitively feeling them physically near you. Right? Which you can do that with other people anyway. But this, again, it has to be a preponderance of these events. All of the weird things I've been talking about for the last hour and a half, all these weird paranormal and metaphysical things, it has to be a preponderance of them. There has to be a lot of them. Like 80%, 90%. Even if it was just 50%, and then you get the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the detaching test, the quantitative test, then I would still say yes. Right? So you have to get, it's got to be like 50 or 80% of the things on this sign. Number 4, the qualitative, metaphysical, and paranormal experiences. This one is intuitively feeling them physically near you. You guys are hanging out, you're sitting at the bar, having a drink, they go to the bathroom, and as they come back, you can feel them. You're looking this way and they're walking up from behind you. And as they get closer to you, you feel their presence. You can physically feel them getting closer, and then they put their hand on your shoulder and you're not really shocked because you could feel them. Right. It's because of this. You're taking this energy and scrunching it up as they're walking up on you. Right? You can physically feel them approaching you. Okay, last thing on this talking point, the phantom touch. This one, I think this has more to do with the obsessive thinking. This is something that people with psychosis experience. But I'll throw it in here. It's called the twin flame phantom touch. It's not really them. It's your mind playing tricks on you. When they walk up behind you and you feel them, that's really them. Or, you know, the detaching test that we're about to talk about, that's really them. But this one, if you want to argue with me about, no, they really were there, Kurt, you're wrong. Probably not. Probably not. It's probably, I'm going to find out you have this going on. Obsessive love disorder. But this is a thing. Your mind can play tricks on you. Remember earlier when I said your mind wants to stay in control here so that you don't align with your soul. You stay stuck in the mind. It'll use your twin flame to do that. So the first time it happened to me, I was laying on my bed and I could feel, she was miles away in another town, by the way. This was, again, over 8 years ago during the beginning. Like she was physically laying on top of me. I could feel her. There's no her. You're not separate from your twin. There's no her. Well, why does it feel like them? Because it's your own soul's energy, or it's your mind using your soul's energy to trick you. Because I felt that sensation. What happened? I started thinking about her. Oh, what does it mean? It means something, doesn't it, God? It means she's going to come to be with me, and we're going to be together, and we're going through the next twin flame stage, and blah, 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 right? Yeah, the mind wants you to start doing that. It's a trick, guys. It's a trick. The mind wants to stay in control. Okay, that's it for sign number 4. Again, qualitative data, you just have to get a high instance of them. Now, what I would say to you is you have to get at least 80% of those things. And there has to be the timing. That's why I, on purpose, took the time to explain to you the bubble phase. When you meet them is significant. You cannot have the awakening before. And if you did have an awakening, a real, full-blown, spontaneous spiritual awakening, and then you met this person, if you were to take my twin flame coaching, this person will not return. Why? Because they're not your twin flame. Your twin flame triggers the awakening, guys. They trigger it. So if that's you, start thinking about what triggered your awakening, right? Now, for the rest of you, all of the metaphysical and paranormal qualitative talking points that I have covered in this video, you have to, if you were to get at least 80% of those, and then no detaching test, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, the quantitative data, okay? If you get 80% of these and no detaching test, I would tell you it's your twin flame. As long as all the other stuff at the beginning, when you met them, how long was the bubble phase, right? If that stuff was happening and you had at least 80% of the qualitative, metaphysical, and paranormal events, but no detaching test, 80% of these, you didn't get this one, I would tell you, yes, it's your twin flame. However, if you get 50% of these qualitative things, 50%, and no detaching test, I would tell you no. Do you remember when I told you I had an appointment last week with a guy and I was like, I can smell it. I know this guy met his fucking twin flame. It was like this. He was getting like 30% of the qualitative information and no detaching test. Here's why. He literally was like 1 week removed from the dark night of the soul. He was still kind of feeling it because it's like a long tapering off, the dark night of the soul, and it kind of comes in and out too. And he was there. Like, I mean, he just met her like a few months prior. You know what I mean? And I told him, as a coach, as somebody who's been doing this for a long time, as a professional who's seen this literally thousands of times, I think it's your twin flame. But if I had to take your case, if I had to take your test sheet to the University of Virginia, they're going to say no. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to give you a retest for free. That's what I told him. So come back to me in a year when you have more data. I need more information. See if you can get the detaching test too, and I'll tell you how to do it. And I'm going to tell you guys how to do it. And he probably will. He probably will, because there needs to be more time, guys. You need more information. You can't, a psychic or a tarot reader, they cannot tell you if it's your twin flame. Well, maybe, but how reliable is that? Probably not very reliable. So that's the criteria, guys. You got to get 80% of the qualitative data. And if you also get the detaching test, I mean, it is rock solid that it's your twin flame. Absolutely. But if you get 80% of the qualitative data and no detaching test, I would still tell you it's your twin flame. But less than like 80% of the qualitative data and no detaching test, that's getting into murky territory. You might want to try to see if you can get the detaching test, right? But it's got to be a high instance. It has to be a preponderance of these metaphysical and paranormal experiences. And this video is 2.5 hours long, guys, and I'm posting it for free. I'm supposed to be on a coaching call right now, but I told my coach I'm going to be late so I can finish this video. And I'm not going to do this video again. This is the last time. I'm hooking you up, guys. I'm hooking you up. I can tell you if it's your twin flame or not. So just try to go get more information. If you're not sure, right now you can purchase a twin flame test with me. I'll figure it out. I'll get to the bottom of this, guys. I've seen this stuff hundreds, if not thousands of times. I've talked to so many people on my group coaching calls over the years. And now I'm doing full-blown one-on-one twin flame tests too. So I've seen this stuff so many times, guys. All right, next, number 5, the detaching test, which is the quantitative data. It's not subjective. It's either yes or no. It's either off or on. And what I'm looking for is cause and effect. It's cause and effect. Okay, here's the situation. I'm going to explain a hypothetical scenario, and then you tell me if anything like this has ever happened to you. Okay. It's Monday. Your twin flame, they're not really talking to you. They're being cold and distant. They've got you in the friend zone. Maybe you guys haven't talked at all for a long time. Weeks, maybe several days. It's got, I mean, like a week or more. It's at least, right? Or they're just like being cold. They don't really want to talk to you. Maybe they talk to you just to be nice because they feel sorry for you. Mine did that for a little while. But it's there. It's nothing's happening, right? And at the same time, you are very, very focused on them still. And you're trying to figure out what to do about them. It's all, what do I do about them? What are they doing? Thinking about them. Trying to figure out who they're talking to and what they're doing, right? And they're being cold and distant. And it's Monday. Okay. Tuesday, you get out of bed and you go, ha! I don't know why, but I'm free. I'm free, guys. I don't love them. I don't hate them. I don't know. I don't care. I'm done. And you do. You feel free. Or you have that sense of oneness experience, and it's powerful. That intuitive sense of being one with everything. and it's extremely powerful. Or you could even be thinking conceptually about letting them go, and you're like, I've got to let them go. I've got to move on from this person. Again, this is Tuesday, right? This isn't healthy. How can I let them go? How can I let them be free? Change how I feel about it. I'm just going to move on. It's okay. It's in the past. It's over. Whatever. So some of these things have to be going on to get you to feel like you let them go or you're over it. You've detached. This is the detaching test. Now, this is very important. There cannot be any outside interference or disqualifiers. Here's what I'm talking about. For example, you know how for example, you text somebody a whole bunch. You text them a lot. And they don't really respond because they're tired of you texting them all the time. And then one day, you abruptly stop texting them. And they notice that you stopped. So they check on you. They finally answer you back, right? Right. So there can't be any outside interference, right? Your twin flame, they cannot know in any way that your behavior changed or that the way you feel about them internally has shifted. They have no knowledge of that. So again, Monday, you were highly focused on them. What are they doing? Who are they talking to? What am I going to do? Whatever. And they're being cold and distant. They don't want to talk to you. They got you blocked. And then the next day, you have this kind of breakthrough. You have this shift. You let them go. And immediately they contact you. And their behavior is different. Right? And again, this is the best I can explain this one. Right? If you're still not sure, I guess get on a twin flame test. But I think I'm explaining it pretty clearly. There has to be a radical shift inside of you. I'm letting them go. I had somebody one time where they were talking to their therapist and it took them like a week to kind of go through all the motions. And then they got to the end of the week and they really felt free from their twin flame for the first time. It's like their therapist talked them into letting them go, letting the twin flame go. And within 4 days, their twin flame was like acting warmer to them and being romantic towards them. And they even wanted to hang out suddenly. Right. There's a cause and effect. And again, for most of you, it's going to be even like a shift. And they respond immediately. It's almost always within 24 to 48 hours. It is right away. And you notice a change in their behavior. Some of you, you may notice like they unblocked you. They don't contact you, but they unblocked you. And so it's like they're stalking your profile. So you'll notice like a change in their behavior, or they'll be very blunt. The first time it ever happened to me, it was like 4 days prior. She threatened to block me because I was bugging her. And bugging her, that did not change. I did not change my behavior, right? The only thing that changed was I had this shift and I felt like I let her go. I even felt like this release. And immediately, within 10 minutes, she starts sending me selfies, little cute selfies, and I miss you and I love you. Wait a minute, you said you were going to block me 4 days earlier. Look at the timing, too, guys. And again, I don't have time. Guys, if you get into the comments and you go, Kurt, what about this? And you type a whole paragraph. I don't have time, guys. I'm sorry. Sign up for my coaching. Get a one-on-one. There's only one of me, and there's 120,000 of you, literally. So that's the detaching test. It is quantitative. It's either a yes or no, cause and effect. It's a clean piece of data. And it's hard data. It's hard data, guys. And again, let's talk about how to do the detaching test. Well, Guys, I think you already get it. You're going to have to stop chasing your twin flame. You're going to have to start thinking about this differently, guys. You already are them. And actually, thinking's the whole problem, but you could start with that. You could start with thinking differently about this. You're not separate from them, guys. Let them go. They're going to keep running from you if you keep trying to figure out what to do and expecting an outcome and getting mad about their behavior. And I'm not saying to accept bad behavior, but what I'm saying is if this person is really your twin flame, that's why, I mean, I thought and this isn't the case for all of you, but I thought my twin flame was toxic. Well, what was really going on was it was my behavior that was bad, and she was setting a boundary with me. And when I let her go, she shifted, and now it's fine. It's like nothing happened. That was 8 years ago. So read this book, Stop Chasing Your Twin, detox, start meditating twice a day. You guys, I just posted a video called How to Raise Your Vibration. I'll link it down in the description for you. Go do that stuff instead of talking to your twin and looking at twin flame information on the internet, talking to everybody about it, talking to psychics about it. Stop. Stop, guys. Stop today. Slow down. Slow down. Your twin flame is here, guys. And you're not going to experience the soul in this heightened emotional state. If you do this, you will experience some kind of a shift. They will come right back immediately. Right when you feel some kind of a shift, they will respond. That's your answer. That's your answer. It's your twin flame. Okay. I had to sneeze. All right. Next, sign number 6. The eyes, dude. Oh my God. Now, I used to think this was 100%. It turns out that there is a rare exception. But, oh man. It's one of those things, guys, after I explain this to you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right? Okay. You could take a picture of you and your twin flame. And by the way, the guy that I told no, but I think it's your twin flame. I can smell it. It's just too soon. We need more data. It's too soon. He showed me a picture and you could see it. They were even different races. And that's part of the one exception that I'm going to talk about is twin flame pairs where they are different races. Sometimes you can't tell. You cannot see the similarities. But when you do, when you get twin flame pairs who are the same race, a different race, twin flame pairs who are a different race, and you do see it, it's astonishing. And I don't know what the real number is, but if I had to make a guess, I'd say 50-50. So if your twin flame is a different race, like black and white, or I have one gal who, she married her twin flame in the early days when I first started coaching twin flames. I helped her to get married to her twin flame. She lives in the United States. He lives in Morocco. They got married, and he's got dark skin. He's Morocco, right? And she's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl from the South, right? And you see their two faces, and they look like they could be fucking brother and sister. Like they had the same nose and everything. It's awesome. My master class, I have a picture in there. Okay. So 50% of the time, if it's interracial, it's going to be like that. 50% of the time, if it's interracial, it's going to be, you can't tell. You can't see it. But you get all this other shit, even the detaching test, and you still, the eyes, nothing matches because one person's Asian, the other one is white, and nothing looks the same. But sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Now, what if you are the same or similar in race, racial makeup? That's most of you watching. You're going to see it no matter who you are. There's no exceptions. Almost everybody, I'm telling you, the exceptions to this rule are so rare. So here's what you do. It's always the eyes. Sometimes it's the whole damn face. So you could try this tonight. Go into, Photoshop or Microsoft Paint or whatever, and you got to get a nice, clear picture of your face and a nice, clear picture of their face. No glasses, no makeup, or at least very little makeup, very little, like some eyeliner. That's it, right? And then cut out around the eyes, this box around the eye, like the T, right? The T here, right? But it's mostly the eyes. You take the eyes, you make a little cutout around the eyes, because what you're going to look at is not the color of the eyes, guys. It's not that. It's like the shape of the eyes or the shape of the facial structure around the eyes, the bone, right? So go into Photoshop or Microsoft Paint or whatever and take a little cutout of your eyes and their eyes, size them up so that they are the same size, and stack them. Stack them. You'll see it. If it's your twin flame. I had one person one time send me a picture, and no, I can't show you examples. I apologize. I even asked my lawyer one time, and he was like, yeah, don't do that. Because I don't have their permission. I don't have, even if my student or customer gave me permission to use their picture, I don't have their twin flames permission. So, but you can look in my New World All-Star Facebook group for examples. Anyway, okay, so I don't have any control. I don't have any control, okay, what you posting there. Well, maybe I do. Okay, anyway, I didn't post it. Okay, so try that tonight. I've had some people where you got a picture of your face and their face together, right? And you'll see it, guys. It's like looking at a ghost. When you see that for the first time, you're going to be like, whoa, shit, we look like cousins. We look like brother and sister even. And it's the eyes, dude. Almost 100% of the time. And I mean it, like 99% of you. You will get the shape of the facial structure around the eyes, and maybe even the nose, and maybe even sometimes the whole damn face. You guys look like you could be brother and sister. It's so weird, but it makes perfect sense. You guys are the same soul. Go watch my What Are Twin Flames video. Again, on my Twin Flame Science playlist. They are one of your past lives, guys. They are. They are. Okay, very last thing. Number 7, positive life changes. This is only going to take a couple minutes. And again, this might take time. It could be a year or two after the awakening starts. After the first time you ever met your twin flame, it could be a couple of years. But your whole life situation falls apart. It's very painful. Here's a saying that I tell to my students. Sometimes you got to tear down the old piece of shit shack first to make way for the big, beautiful crystal castle that we're going to put in its place. So you go through a divorce, your ex, they take everything, you got to get a new job. You seem to be losing friends and family, right? There's maybe people that don't want to talk to you, or you're not interested in them anymore. And there's all this commotion, like everything's getting blown up, right, in your life situation. And then over the course of 12 to 24 months-ish, unless you're still chasing your twin flame, you got to stop doing that, guys. I'm telling you, all these blessings are waiting for you. All these blessings are waiting for you. Okay. Your life situation starts to shift and transform around you. And there's new things and people and experiences and resources and opportunities, and you get a new job, or there's people, they want to date you. I mean, I know you want your twin flame, but hey, that's flattering. People are starting to notice you. Money, you might notice it's like easier for you to make money now. I don't know. Even like Rain, my student on my Twin Flame Success Stories playlist, she's the newer one. She's blonde hair and she's wearing like a solid red sweater. She said, yeah, those things are shifting and changing. I still live in the same house, but there's a lot of toxic people that fell away, and I get along a lot better with my kids. And I think she said she was making more money or getting a different job too. And she's still kind of, not at the beginning, but more maybe like 12 months removed. So there's still more cool stuff in store for her. And I even told her in private, I was like, if your twin flame runs one more time, you have the tools. You know what to do. And she goes, I know. And he'll be back. And then that time he'll stay. That's part of this process, is sometimes you do this dance. But every time your twin flame pulls away, they pull away less if you're doing it right. And the challenge is, how good can I get at taking my hands off the steering wheel and just letting this energy like vibrate out kind of thing is what it is. And that's literally what it is, right? What you're doing is you're trying to get rid of this. And it's a natural process. If you would just stop chasing your twin flame and let the process work its way out. Okay. So you're going to have that. You're going to have your physical life situation change around you, you guys. You will, for almost all of you. It's going to be such an improvement to your life. And this ties in with spontaneous healing. So Rain is an extraordinary example. I don't know how often this happens. I'm not a psychologist, but she had, I think she called it split personality disorder or multiple personality disorder or something like that, and it's gone. Ever since her awakening. And it just happened spontaneously. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. And I got a little bit afraid when I was shooting that interview with her, because I was like, oh, I better say something, because you can kind of get in a lot of trouble if you tell people, you bet, you got multiple personality disorder and your twin flame will make that go away forever. Well, you can't tell people that kind of stuff. So I made sure in that interview to tell the audience, yeah, we can't promise you that that'll happen, but it happened to her. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. Guys, but she's not the first person I've seen stuff like that happen to. I've had a student with diagnosed, what the fuck is it called? Hold on. Obsessive compulsive disorder, and he improved. His improved. So I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, and maybe that doesn't happen for everybody, but I'll tell you what, you will, it has to be that you're going to experience some level of improvement. It has to be. Because consciousness dissolves a lot of that ego crap that's in there floating around. You know what I mean? And this is an interesting thing. So the video I linked below for you from Julia Mossbridge, the paranormal researcher that I told you about, in that video, she says something very interesting. She says, yeah, around 80% of the people that I work with that have these types of spiritual gifts had some kind of trauma in their past. Now, that means that 20% of you do not. But most of you do, and this is something we talk about on my group coaching calls all the time. And I did too. I'm a narcissism survivor. I'm telling you, man, there's people in my family that are like clinical, the people that brought me into this world. And you can't tell them, they're never going to change. The only thing you can really do is change the people who are in your life. You can't change people, but you can change the people who are in your life. And That's more common when it comes to this spontaneous healing. So healing, if your starting point is healing, you're going the wrong way, guys. And I've already talked about that in almost all of my other videos. I'm not going to rehash it here, but guys, you are not your mind. That's the first thing you're going to learn when you start to learn about genuine spiritualism. You are not your mind. You are not that. You are consciousness. And that doesn't mean that we bypass the mind. It's there. It deserves care. Or denying the mind. You don't want to deny your human experience. And anyway, if you did do that, that's actually the mind who thinks that's how you become spiritual. I'm going to make a video about that soon, about spiritual bypassing. Well, anyway, this is your chance to heal a lot of the things that are in there, and you don't have to work at it per se. You don't have to try. Your starting point should be consciousness, always, not healing. Healing is fine, but do it later. And what I'm telling you is, if you need to do it, you will. That's exactly what happened to me. This happens to my students all the time. If you align with your soul, and you just for right now, guys, just focus on the bare basics of being, just practicing Zen and being, and that's all you're doing. And I'm not worried about any kind of outcome. I'm just going to get really good at meditating and slowing down and building spaciousness into my life and practicing mindfulness all day and getting good at that. What's going to happen is this experience, this awakening, it will carry you down the river of time. And you're going to walk right in to situations with people where you're going to have something happen. It may be a negative experience, but in the aftermath, you're going to realize that it is your ego mask and the bad programming in there that it needs to change. I mean, sure, toxic people that do toxic things to you, do they need to change? Yeah. Are they gonna? No. And you can't tell them they're toxic. They're not gonna listen. And as a matter of fact, they're gonna keep telling you that you're toxic. It's called gaslighting. Like when the narcissist tells you that you're a narcissist. Right. So you're gonna go, okay, I have this bad programming in here that my parents put there, or whoever, my grandma, society. It's your parents usually, always. Almost always, right? Almost 100%, but other things too can cause that as well, yes. But there could be this bad programming, and your parents might not be bad people. They could be good people, but there could be problems where you ended up in situations throughout your life where you had to deal with toxic people because maybe your parent is a nice person, but they had bad boundaries and you learned that behavior from them to have no boundaries with others, right? And so even though your parent is a good person, they are playing the victim role in life. And you are playing the victim role in life. And you're going to start to notice that in your own ego mask. And you can start to reprogram that, and you will, and you'll do it spontaneously. You'll walk right into situations where you'll be able to start doing that. And you're going to start to ask questions about narcissism and, I don't know, autism and borderline and other forms of bad behavior. Toxic people, when they have children, the children are either also going to become toxic themselves, or the children are, and they could have some of both categories. So you're either going to create more toxic children, or you're going to create a child. You're going to create a child who is going to be the victim of toxic people. And if that's you, you're the lucky one. Because you can actually fix that, right? And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. A toxic person, you can't fix it. And You're going to have even some compassion maybe for toxic people eventually. You don't have to right now. You don't have to. You don't have to right now. If you're mad, be mad right now, guys. Let yourself feel. That's a big part of what I'm all about here on New World All-Star is have the human experience and take your time with it, but have an end goal when you start your healing journey. And we talk about that a lot in my paid coaching programs. Have an end goal if you're going to start on this. Get it to the point where you're going to be healed. And healed looks like somebody who maybe still has some of these shadows from your past, but you've made peace with them. You can live with them. And you mostly just live in peace. And you've gotten rid of all the toxic people. That's healed. You're friends with your shadows. And a lot of the shadows have gotten smaller or disappeared even, right? But there might still be some of that stuff. And again, the shadows are, for example, in the case of people like us, it's going to be behaviors where you are allowing toxic people to take advantage of you and use you as an emotional sponge, right? They're using you for their food. They want an emotional reaction from you and they want you to feel like you need them. I just made a video. I'll link it down below for you. What the hell? I'm linking all kinds of other videos, but there's a video I'll link in the description of this video post called How to Spot a Narcissist that I just made. So get educated about that stuff when it's time. And don't put the cart before the horse. Don't do that. Consciousness is always number one. Don't put the cart before the horse. Always, always, always. You are consciousness first. You are consciousness first. And that's literally true. A newborn baby. Does it have a self-concept? No. It's got awareness, and that's all. That's the soul. And it's the energy of this soul that will flow out from you like a fountain if you surrender and you let it. And it will cause you to be drawn into situations where you will learn about the ego mask, the self-concept. And you'll start to notice the problems there and think about those things and start questioning your own behavior. Well, you're going to question the behavior of others too, but you're going to realize, I hope at some point, I can't change them, but I can change me. And I can also change the people who are in my life. I've had to let go of some people, you guys. I've had to do some hard things. I just talked to a student today who had to let go of her daughter because the birth father was toxic and messed up the daughter. Now, same mother, my student, has a son who is not toxic and they get along. So it's kind of hit or miss, guys. That's a hard thing to do. I can't imagine having to be put in that position. And she doesn't want to. She wants to have a relationship with her daughter, but the daughter is so toxic and pushes her away all the time and even lies about her. One time, got her into trouble with the law, made up a bunch of fake allegations. And the police did an investigation and they didn't find anything. It was all lies. So, I don't know. I guess you got to stop talking to your daughter. That's a bitter pill to swallow, man. But you can do it. I had to let go of my parents. My sister, she doesn't want to talk to them either. This is hard stuff, guys, but I'm able to live in peace with it all. How am I able to do that? Being, not thinking. By putting spiritualism first. By putting consciousness first. I know who I really am. I'm a soul. I'm beyond the self-concept. You guys. So, that's the deal. That's the deal, my friends. That is how to tell if this person is your twin flame. And again, the healing, you don't have to work at it that hard. When it is time for you to do the healing, you will. You will do it spontaneously. You will just walk right in to situations and you'll start finding information about these kinds of things and talking to people about it and things like that. Now, let me close with this, you guys. This is a comprehensive list. This video is going to be just over 3 hours long. I already know that a lot of you watching are going to have follow-up questions. You might be confused about some of these things. The only thing that I could say is go talk to the people in my New World All-Star public Facebook group. That would be a good place for you to start. Again, over the last 5 years, I have done a careful job to start talking about this stuff so that I can get real people that really met their twin flame instead of these people. And my coaching spaces are different now too. Like I remember that in the early days, I would get a lot of these people and there was some tomfoolery in my coaching system. And then once I started talking about this stuff, like I am in this video, Kundalini, leaving your body, busting all the myths, cleaning house, guys. On my social media platforms, I don't get those people anymore. I know I'm getting people that really met their twin flame now. It's awesome! It's such a cool job because this is such a weird paranormal experience, right? So I have moderators who I've handpicked and they want to help you, you guys. And they're doing it for free, for God's sake. I got several of them in my public New World All-Star Facebook group. If you want to talk to somebody for free, you can go in there. Again, guys, I'm busy, man. I wish I could help every one of you individually, and I try sometimes. And it's a lot, man. It's a lot to try to do that for you guys. So if you get in there and you tag me or you leave comments, I might not answer. I welcome your comments, and you never know. You might get lucky, because I do every day try to scan through things and hit a couple of questions, but I can't do them all, guys. The best thing for you to do is to go into my New World All-Star Facebook group. If you're watching in a language other than English, you can go in there and start typing in your language. Facebook has a built-in translator tool. Anybody can click it and read what you wrote, and then when they respond in their language, you can read what they wrote. There's a little translator button. So I'll go ahead and put the link to my public New World All-Star Facebook group for you, no matter what language you're listening to me in. You'll be able to communicate with us. Come join us. Come join us, guys. The people on average in that community, they get it, guys. They know what this is really all about. You're still going to get some new people that didn't really meet their twin flame, or they're confused and they're still kind of like talking about the mythology, and we have to kind of get them straightened out. But we don't just tell you it doesn't work that way, right? What we're going to tell you is why it doesn't work that way. We're going to give you a reason. And of course, there's my paid coaching. It's available in your language. If you're watching me in a language other than English, I have it available for purchase right now. It's all been translated into my voice, into your language. It's all accessible to you now. There's information down below for you to sign up now, and it's not expensive. You can start for $41. Okay, guys, that's it. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.